Hello, we're on the air. Good evening, and welcome to another live broadcast from Force 13. And this evening, amongst many other things, our main feature of the evening is to be talking about the current cyclone active in the southwest Indian Ocean, Cyclone 15S, which has not yet been given a name. We also have three other invests active around the world at this time, mostly in the southern hemisphere, including one in the western Pacific as well. Joining us today, we have Jean. Hello there, over in Mauritius. A nice decorative Mauritius flag in the background, and Daniel Hudson as well.
Hello.
Hello. That was really difficult for me because I was listening to my voice in the background, which was playing. But there you have it. So yes, those the. If anyone would like to drop in at any time during this broadcast, then you're more than welcome to, either on video or audio, or even on text on the chat feature of this video as well. It'll all be acknowledged. Do be advised, there is around a minute's delay. It isn't really our fault, that's all YouTube, which not imposes, but I think it's just the technicalities. There is a bit of a delay from your chat, your text messages being sent to us reading them out, as has been seen in the past few live events. Daniel, nickname is Waniel. You took your time getting in here this evening.
Yeah, I had a few technical issues.
I see. Okay then, let's. I believe we have some satellite imagery ready. Ah yes, that's the latest image of Cyclone 15. Which I believe has already made landfall in Mozambique, if I'm not mistaken. I think I read that earlier. If not, it is very close, but yes, affecting land. You can see, well, let's take a look at what the last visible imagery of the day had to show, because it's nightfall there, I'm quite sure, but I don't think the sun set so long ago. What's so funny over there, Daniel?
Nothing.
Nothing. All right, no. Clearly. There's a cyclone making land. It's weak at the moment. It's remained weak for its whole lifetime so far. Its wind speed is 40 miles per hour. Air pressure around 996 millibars. And its position there looking up 16.5 degrees south, 41.4 degrees east. That was as of 12 o'clock Zulu. We'll have some later information coming in very soon, I'm sure.
I like cook in my room.
We even have some already. There's some noise there in the background, ignore all that. There's John's satellite imagery. You can just about see the storm making landfall on the left-hand side, making landfall in Mozambique, which wasn't actually expected, at least according to the JTWC's map. Because the JTWC map initially had the storms just linger just off the coast. Actually, you can see it on my screen right now, to just stay off the shore and then curve back towards Madagascar. The curving back part is probably still a likely scenario, and it says here the storm could make landfall with winds of 65 miles per hour and then move just south of the capital of Madagascar, Antananarivo, as a weak tropical storm before weakening further into a tropical depression as it heads towards La Réunion and Mauritius, but I think there'll be very little left of that storm by that time. There's another version of the map from, is that from Météo France? Yes, indeed. Showing how they predict the storm to make landfall, I think, a little bit further south than what the JTWC say. Certainly the beyond landfall in Madagascar, the track forecast is different there. Some disagreement going on. Curving instead far towards the south, but you can certainly see with the cone of uncertainty all around that, the storm could theoretically go anywhere in that yellow shaded area, similar to on the JTWC. It could go anywhere towards the north or the south, or who knows where else. But that would be that. Daniel, any comments on that?
Yeah. Not really, no.
Excellent. I'm sure. Yes, indeed. We've got a few other things to talk about with you a little bit later on. If those of you who are unfamiliar, Daniel here is sort of like a trainee here at Force 13.
Yeah.
He's sort of learning the ropes and all that. Are you checking the comments at all? Because I'm unable to at this time.
Me? I can't.
Yes.
Because I'm on my
Oh.
iPod, so I can't.
I was just actually thinking of things that you could do for us, but never mind.
Yeah.
But there's the latest image of the track forecast. There haven't been any comments anyway thus far. So we'll keep talking about that. But also, let's talk about what else we've got active right now. Yes? What, it was just a random that you came out?
Would it be a good idea for people to email me with... No, would it be alright if people could email me with the comments? Comments. My email.
Well, it's a little bit...
I could read them.
Yes, but it's a little bit of a long way round to do all that, isn't it, when you can just comment on YouTube. I think we've got a significant delay, by the way, as well, Daniel.
Yeah.
So maybe you might want to refresh your thingamajig or whatever you do over there, because you're about a good 5 seconds behind me.
I'll try reconnecting.
Yes. Go ahead. In the meantime, let's take a look at what other storms we have active at this time. We have Invest 93P, which has formed in the past, I think it's 48 hours now, more than 24 hours. That's just an invest at this time, 20 miles an hour. Air pressure is 1010 millibars. Positions 9.2 degrees south, 169.7 degrees east. And we're looking at the models very shortly, and you will see that quite a frightening forecast for that storm in the coming days. More on that shortly. I think it's that one anyway. We also have Invest 94S. That's on the eastern coast of Madagascar, so quite possibly we could see Madagascar getting hit on both sides here, which is certainly not good for them. And this system as well, that could head somewhere towards the southeast, maybe towards those islands, Mauritius and Reunion. Reunion on the left-hand side, Mauritius on the right there. Could possibly be a threat in the coming days. We'll look at that in more detail shortly. And also, a new invest that's formed in the Western Pacific, 97W, fairly weak at this time. And as you can see here, you can't really distinguish too much of the storm right now. And Jean's also showing there's some satellite imagery animated. Yes, you can see both the systems there. The Cyclone 15S on your left-hand side affecting the coast of Madagascar in the yellow outline, and the Invest 94S along the northeastern coast of Madagascar. Daniel's back with us. Hello.
Hello.
Hi there. We're just going to go through the models now.
Is my voice improved? Can you hear me better?
We could hear you just fine. It was syncing problems, I think, that we may still be having, actually.
Are we still having? Oh, yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, let me just wind back here and let's take a look at what the models are saying right now, the computer models for the next 10 days up to. So you can see here, the area of focus is towards the bottom right-hand side of your screen, where you can see Mozambique, over there where my mouse is hovering right now, and Madagascar on the right-hand side. So as we progress, every time I click, it advances 3 hours, and you can see how the storms, you can certainly see Cyclone 15 moving into Madagascar, albeit a bit slowly. And the low on the right-hand side, Invest 94S, seems to remain disorganized. And I guess that's why there is some uncertainty in this. It may be the case that now that Cyclone 15 is over Mozambique, that it could dissipate completely and not even bother going towards Madagascar, especially if that Invest 94S stays put. You can see very elongated there, perhaps a little bit breaking off 94S as it moves over those islands towards the southeast. Unclear whether that will become a tropical storm or not, but certainly looks to be a somewhat significant extratropical low by the time it heads off towards the southeast. So now let's take a look now at Australia, the Australian region. Okay, this is the current image. It's very wet towards the equatorial regions, and you can see this low pressure system here, where my mouse is hovering right now. That's where Invest 90, what is it now? 93P, is it? I don't even forgotten what number it is. What number is it? I was right. 93p. So let's see how it progresses over the coming frames. Now you can see at this point, I'd probably call it a tropical storm here, or borderline tropical storm. That's in 2 days' time. So the storm is northeast of Vanuatu, due east of the Solomon Islands, and northwest of Fiji. And then the storm continues towards the south over the next frames, and you can see how it becomes a really significant storm, possibly, I mean, untrained eye, I suppose, when it comes to detecting models, but I'd say a major cyclone making landfall on those islands of Vanuatu, and heavy rainfall affecting Fiji as well. And then the storm continues to ravage almost all of the Vanuatu island chain. Not too much for New Caledonia, but may see some peripheral effects from the storm. Of course, don't forget that this is not set in stone. The track could change, the intensity could change. And you can also see a new storm forming near Australia as well, just off the northeastern coast of Queensland. And a new storm developing out of that. And that's going to move out over the Coral Sea, probably won't be a threat to Australia, and then this cyclone turns into a huge extratropical low near New Zealand. And that storm that formed near Australia then goes and affects possibly New Caledonia as well. And what's also worth noticing, going back a few frames, another significant storm making landfall on the western coast of Australia, but that's in around 8 days' time, or 9 days' time, so that's uncertain at this time, as is the whole thing really beyond 5 days out. And we fast track back towards the 5-day mark, which is here. So this is a little bit more set in stone, perhaps a new disturbance forming near Australia. Perhaps you can just about see the edge of that storm that affects Western Australia there forming south of Indonesia, but that's speculation from me. But yes, that's the main threat there, 93p. The most immediate threat could possibly be a major storm, but this is all models, and who knows whether they're right or wrong. Now the Western Pacific, obviously we had that invest. We have that invest still active, of course, but I don't know how long for, because there doesn't seem to be much of it. But just to look at through the models for the West Pacific, you can see next to nothing forming throughout the whole 10-day period. Very little. Pretty much nothing really. A few heavy rain showers here over the Micronesian islands, perhaps the edge of a storm or just a disturbance maybe towards the end of that loop, but that's 10 days out, so I'm not sure about the credibility on that at this time. But there you are. Now, just some comments to read out from Jagsco. Says everyone is still sleeping down there in Western Australia. It is early in the morning there, isn't it? We try to coordinate our updates so that they are most convenient for people in the storm areas, and the most obviously the most biggest threat at this time is of course the storm at Mozambique, which of course is late evening there, so I think we picked our time as wisely as we could. Of course, if we had an Australian system, then we'd perhaps do an update later into the night here in the UK, or perhaps early in the morning. So yeah, Daniel, what do you think about doing a late night update or an early morning one?
I'm not sure. What time would that be?
Haven't a clue. If a storm affected Australia, sure, then it would certainly be. That'd
be a bit difficult.
Well, for you perhaps, not for myself.
Yeah.
I'm here all the time. Yeah. Here's some more satellite. Go ahead.
I'd probably be dropping off in the middle of it, most likely.
That was some more satellite imagery from Jean there, showing the current situation in the Indian Ocean. And that is a weather bulletin there as well, talking about the current situation, I believe. Réunion, of course, Météo France, rather, hasn't named the storm yet. You can see it on my map here on their website. They're calling it, I think, Tropical Disturbance 11, if I'm not mistaken. So they have not named the storm just yet. They're responsible for naming systems, I believe. And the latest graphic, I'm not sure what the date's, 10 p.m. In Réunion. That's 4 hours ahead of our time. So that was issued nearly 2 hours ago. showing the storm just off the coast of Mozambique, but we believe it has or is very nearly making landfall on the eastern coast of Mozambique. But here's some more satellite imagery loop from Sean's PC over there, whilst I get the next image up and ready. Ooh, So that was the last visible image of the storm from today. That was at 2:30 p.m. our time, which was just over 5 hours ago. Showing a little bit of a flare-up perhaps in the central part of the storm there, very near the coast of Mozambique. And looking at latest infrared imagery as well. Don't know whether there's a new one that's come in since this image was taken just over 1 hour ago. Yes, there is. There's a new one there. Can't quite confirm it, but I think it's pretty safe to say at least more than half of the storm is over land, at the very least. And you can also see on that visible imagery the storm still not looking particularly good towards the southeastern side, and that's been a feature ever since the start, really. I know that initially it had very high wind shear amounts, and I think that might still be the case. So here's the latest wind shear map. It's marginal. You see towards the bottom left hand side of your image there. Let's try and zoom in on that. On the bottom left hand side here, that is the storm just off the coast. This was a few hours ago. High amounts of wind shear towards the north, low amounts to the south over the Mozambique Channel, and that's why perhaps the JTWC are expecting intensification before its landfall in Madagascar, if indeed it does do that, because of the lower amounts of wind shear as it heads towards that way. Of course, the orange and red areas mean very high amounts of wind shear that can certainly destroy a storm, for lack of a better word. It's certainly the low amounts, the blue areas, the dark green areas showing low amounts of wind shear below 20 knots, meaning that it's for the most part conducive. The green into the yellow areas, 20 to 30, maybe a bit more, marginal at best, and then it becomes unfavourable beyond that. Elsewhere across the Indian Ocean, you can also see a few areas of lower amounts, sort of like a line, I suppose, you could draw, extending from, I think it's the Kenya area perhaps, or Tanzania, towards the east-southeast, all the way to Australia. There's a big band there of low amounts of wind shear, and if that storm that we're looking at does form in the Australian region, what we rumour to be just south of Indonesia perhaps, we'll look at the satellite image of the whole basin shortly to see whether we can see any disturbances that may become that. Low amounts around this area as well. Here's I think we had a track map. Oh, we don't. Just a moment. That's the latest track map for Cyclone 15S, still not named at this time. Still with winds of 40 miles an hour. Let me just confirm that that is still the case as of 6 p.m. UTC. It hasn't come in just yet. It's the 12 o'clock is still the latest, but as soon as we get more news on its intensity, we'll let you know, and indeed its position, which we should be expecting any time now. But doesn't really affect the track forecast so much. JTWC say we could have 65 miles per hour. I'm not sure quite what the Météo France say on its intensity. The only thing I can read out of that is that it's going to be a tropical storm. That much is true. Certainly, I don't think it will be a particularly strong a storm. Probably won't be approaching hurricane status, but stranger things have happened. Certainly in that part of the world as well. I might remember a few cyclones in the not too distant past that affected Madagascar as very significant storms on the left-hand side. Daniel.
This cyclone, it'll be the first one we've had in March, won't it? This year.
I've completely
first cyclone of.
I've completely lost my bearings. I think it is.
Oh right. I'm not really able to
Sorry?
I'm finding it a bit difficult to concentrate at the moment on such a small screen, so...
Oh, I see.
If you can bear with me a bit.
There's a bear with you?
No.
Okay, enough.
If you can bear with me.
Yeah, Stephen P. Shaw just asks, any idea what the cyclone will be named if they name it? Thanks for looking it up for me, Jack. So, he says it'll be Halibut in the Mozambique Channel. Of course, we knew it would begin with a H because we are up to that in the alphabetical naming list. But that will be the name, Halibut, and that will probably occur, perhaps the way it's going, in the next few hours or maybe a little bit later. Certainly, if it intensifies as it moves back out to sea, I think we'll see the naming come pretty quickly. But Meteo France just holding off for the time being. But of course, the eastern coast of Mozambique, because the storm is stalling over that area right now, could be seeing lots of heavy rainfall, which indeed could lead to flooding on the eastern side there. And the storm will move pretty quickly over Madagascar in comparison to its passage or approach to Mozambique, so flooding probably won't be as much of an issue there, but still heavy rainfall over that area. I'm not too sure what their conditions have been like recently, whether they've had lots of rain or not, but quite often you hear about that in those areas. I think we've got another graphic here. Ah, yes, this is the, correct me if I'm wrong, Jean, but I think this is the wind map, isn't it? And you can just about see the central parts of those two systems. The Invest on your right-hand side, but you can see with a much stronger signature the Cyclone 15S. And the left-hand side, of course, not as strong wind-wise, because it is overland, and the further it does move overland, the majority of the storm, then the trickier time it will have of leaving again as an intact tropical storm or even a disturbance. But there you have it. I know what I was going to do next. I was going to load up the whole basin for the Indian Ocean, their satellite imagery. And here we are. So you can see it here, the current situation right now across the whole Indian Ocean. As I detailed, the left-hand side, you can see those two storms over Madagascar, and elsewhere it's pretty quiet. Lots of rainfall occurring, it seems, just south of Indonesia and along the chain of islands there extending towards Papua New Guinea. Lots of cloudiness going on there. I assume quite a lot of rain as well. And perhaps we might see an Invest form out of that very shortly or soon in the next few days, which, as the models depict, could perhaps make landfall in Western Australia, but that is many days out, I must stress, and may not yet occur. I'm sure Jessica would be would be happy to see a storm. Maybe not, not if it's too strong. I also see Jean's looking at that area now as well. Pretty windy off the west coast of Australia. What is that, at ground level or is it somewhere else? Because I know that site does winds high up as well. But that's as far as the satellite image is concerned. In fact, I'll return with my imagery in just a moment. I think you can get... ah, yes. Here's an image of from the Indian Ocean on the rain accumulation in the past 12 hours. And you can actually see, perhaps you could argue that Invest 94S has been the wetter storm than Cyclone 15S. That was as of 12 p.m, so that was quite some time ago. There has been a flare-up or two on Cyclone 15S since then, so that may change, but lots of rainfall occurring along the eastern coast of Madagascar. A few rain showers out in the open Indian Ocean as well, south of Diego Garcia. Or is that east of? I'm not sure whether that little island near the equator is Diego Garcia or some islands further north. And also some rainfall occurring, as I mentioned there, south of Indonesia, in the, according to this graphic, 50 millimeters, 4 inches range, I think. We're hoping to have Michael with us as well this evening to have a chat about what's going on, but he didn't seem to have been able to make it. So let me now point out Force 13's new service, which we've launched recently, Force 13 Extra. Now, this feature is what we're all... now, we have a team here at Force 13 now. We've recently established a team. Daniel is one of the people on that team, which we can barely see him properly. Also, Jean is on that team as well, and they have the opportunity to upload their very own videos on that channel as they see fit. And we'll also be holding our entertainment on there as well, such as the game shows, which some people liked, I think. Those will all be now featuring on Force 13 Extra. We'll also perhaps be opening the doors to just our team members doing blogging features, just like a video blog, I suppose, about what the current weather is like where they live as well, and perhaps about historic tropical storms and hurricanes as well. So if you'd like to be part of that project and think you may have something to offer, then please let us know. Just by sending me a message. Most of you know the means. force-13@hotmail.co.uk is my email address if you'd like to get in touch about that. What's also interesting coming up this month is on March 20th there's a solar eclipse occurring not too far from where I live, and Daniel. Are you looking forward to that, Daniel? Maybe. Can you hear me?
If I can see it, if it isn't too close.
Oh yes, indeed. I think we might have a huge delay going on with your audio there, Daniel, I'm afraid. But yes, there is a solar eclipse going on. We'll be filming it on Force 13, and there's going to be lots of video footage going on with that. It's going to be a pretty cool event. We'll also be showing what happened in the past, as well as a few satellite images out there where you can actually see the eclipse in action. I think it's really cool. So that's what we're going to be taking part in on March the 20th, just to let you know in advance. For the meantime, we have storms to track. Only weak storms at this time, but sometimes the weakest can be some of the worst storms that you can have. Of course, when I think of weak storms that caused a lot of trouble, the first one I think of is a Washi that hit the Philippines in 2011. A fairly weak storm that caused huge amounts of flooding and human cost as a result of that storm. I'm not saying that this storm is any similar to that, but that's just the first one I think of. But yes, it is a certainly was a sheared storm, but it seems to be increasing odds in favour of the storm, if not for the land interaction. So if it does manage to get away from land that little bit, I think we will start to see some intensification occurring out of that one. And no doubt it will be named. Now, also looking at the comments, I was just reading through the comments there. Jaxco, that's interesting. The next name in the South Pacific would be Pam, but due to similarity with lamb, the standby name Pilly may be used if warranted. Now, I want to know, how do we know what the what would make it warranted and what would not make it warranted, if that was to happen, if that makes any sense at all? And who makes a decision for that? Because the two different basins are administered by two different agencies, are they not? But that's that. And indeed, my name's coming up very soon in Australia as well. I wonder whether Cyclone Nathan will be making landfall in Western Australia as a significant storm. I'm not saying that I want it to happen, by the way. But this is what we're looking at right now. Cyclone 15S is the storm that's most likely to be named in the next 24 hours. And of course it will be named Halibar in the Mozambique channel, in between Mozambique, pictured on your left, the coastline now on your left rather, and Madagascar on your right hand side of this image. And you can see the storm's influence also on that latest visible imagery as well, just about extending northwards into, I think it's Tanzania that it borders towards the north there. I can't recall whether there was one in between or not. And there's the latest animated imagery. But yeah, there's 94S on the eastern coast of Madagascar as well. And it's associated rainfall perhaps extending as far as Réunion as well, and almost as far as Mauritius. But yeah, let's just go through those models another time for those two storms in particular, whether or not we will see perhaps tropical storms forming out of both of them. Maybe it seems less likely for 94S than it is for 15S. You can see the storm moving across to Madagascar there, but 94S you can see I mean, not as much of that system according to these model maps. Of course it's not everything the be all and end all these model runs, but it does give you a decent guide of what you think, what may happen. I guess it's, personally I'd give it a 40% chance of becoming a tropical storm at any point. 15S I think will more likely than not be named. All it has to do is move out to sea once more. Also around the world we have Invest 93P. We'll also keep you updated on that, because that may well become a significant cyclone. So we'll be monitoring that one. You can see, looking at its location, Vanuatu just off to the bottom part of your imagery there, and some of its associated islands, and the Solomon Islands on your left hand side as well, and some very remote tiny islands on your right hand side there. I'm not quite sure who those belong to. It's a minefield out there. 94S of course, and the Invest in the Western Pacific, which it doesn't appear there's much of. Invest 97W forming there, which I certainly don't think will become a tropical cyclone, at least not anytime soon. There's the latest map on Google Earth shown by Jean, showing the clouds over those areas. Some a little flare up over the western side of Madagascar as well, you can see there, which we did see earlier but didn't mention. I don't think that will last very long. It'll probably flicker out at some point, but you can see the established Invest on the right hand side, and of course the cyclone, which you can see quite clearly on this map that more than half of the storm is over Mozambique, so there will be lots of heavy rain going on in the northeastern part of the country, particularly over the coastline. Heavy rainfall there, and gusty winds, probably not particularly strong. Peak sustained winds of 35 miles an hour doesn't necessarily mean that winds will, 40 miles an hour doesn't necessarily mean that winds will reach 40 miles an hour, but we could see gusts higher than that, particularly if it intensifies, which is the latest data we're still waiting for here. It should come up here first before anyone else, but sometimes it comes up on the Navy first. But we'll let you know as soon as the oh yes, it has actually. That is as of 6 PM UTC. So yes, there is no change in its intensity. 40 miles an hour it remains, 996 millibars, position 16.8 degrees south, 41.3 degrees east is the latest information from the Navy there. Now, this is Jean's map as well. And I'm not sure how old that map actually is. I think it might be slightly dated now. I'm not exactly sure. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was as of 12 PM. That's the latest date on there anyway. So that was a few hours ago. The the Matteo Francis map is probably later. Yes, indeed it is. Showing the storm just a little bit further towards the west, and I'm not sure when the next update comes in on that. I'm sure Jean will be able to put me right on when it actually does come in. I don't know whether they do it on 6-hourly updates or 3-hourly or when, but we'll see the latest tracking map on there as well, and whether it still disagrees with the JTWC as to what it does after it moves out to sea from Madagascar. Load up some more imagery. That's the latest satellite imagery from Jean's PC there. We'll take a short break now. At least I will, from talking, just for a little while. And I'll return in just a few minutes. Stephen also says that the wind map was at 1000 HPA. I'm not sure whether he's referring to the Earth map that was animated, because I am aware that by default I think it does show at 1000 HPA, which is pretty close to actual observed at sea level, I think. But there you have it. Yes, that map there that we're looking at right now. Are there any other graphics on there that we could actually look at, Jean? Something we haven't actually looked at yet is sea surface temperature, actually. I know that it has its own version on that site as well. But here's my screen showing the latest sea surface temperatures for today. Very warm indeed, around 28 or 29 degrees Celsius where the storm is located right now. Invest 94, warmer waters still, very close to 30 degrees. So the water's there, even though we're coming out of just about starting to leave summer behind in the southern hemisphere. Still very warm waters in the Indian Ocean in particular, and on the Australian side as well. Look at the temperatures there. They go for Carpentaria up to 32 degrees. On the northwestern part of Australia, 30 degrees. And if that storm did affect Australia on the western coast, underneath that point I think is where it all drops off a cliff almost, the sea surface temperatures, which it did. I think it was around here that the storm made landfall, where my cursor is right now. So sea surface temperatures there are marginal, and as it moves towards the south, of course, very cool down towards the south there, and indeed freezing towards Antarctica, but that's not the tropics. In the South Pacific, of course, where that invest is right now, 93p, it's around here, I think. The water temperatures in this area, very warm indeed, again around 30 degrees Celsius. As it moves towards the south, even warmer still. So depending on what wind shear is doing, we'll have a look at that shortly as well, could be very conducive conditions indeed for tropical storm formation, and where that next storm might form here as well in the Coral Sea off the eastern coast of Australia. 30-degree waters still remain here as well. The Western Pacific warming up a little bit as well. Of course, it's coming out of its winter now, just about. Certainly, we've seen a warm up in the South China Sea, the 26 degrees. The bar here didn't really extend this far down at all, far up rather at all, and now clears the northern coast of the Philippines as well. So all that whole area is warm enough, but not quite conducive in other regards just yet. There's the full view. That's a wide view there from Jean, showing the Pacific. All the current wind speeds going on there. That is storm wind speed, right? I believe it is. Showing nothing much going on. And in just a moment, I'll show you the wind shear maps for these areas as well. Oh, Daniel's back with us.
Hello.
Hi.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't
download.
I won't. Don't download the Google Hangout app for iOS. It's terrible.
That's a lesson to us all.
Yeah.
Very good indeed. Here's the latest shear map for Eastern Australia. A huge swathe of high amounts of wind shear around the area where Marcia made landfall, actually, just a few weeks ago. And towards the north there, a clearer patch, and you can just about see towards the very north of the map there, towards the northeastern part, low amounts and decreasing around where that invest is right now. Let's also look at the Western Pacific whilst we're here. And even though water temperatures are very warm, I'm expecting to see still a lot of shear around. Certainly that huge white swathe over Japan and China is why we never see storms over there at this time of year, amongst other reasons. But further south, low amounts conducive near the Philippines, which is why Philippines is vulnerable at almost all times of the year, I suppose. Higher amounts towards the east where that invest is right now, which is why it's really struggling to really get anything going at all, and which is probably why I won't see any development either. Would you like to comment, Daniel?
No, I'm just gathering a storm image.
You're gathering a storm image?
Yeah, for someone to guess which storm it is.
Okay.
Okay. If you're alright with it, of course.
Well, we are running out of information to actually deliver at this point, so we'll probably do an image guessing game or something like that just to have a little bit of light and shade here, and then we'll return with the latest information and to repeat our information to anyone who just drops by at the latest. And Stephen P. Shaw says, Halibur is Arabic for conqueror, victor or winner. Hopefully that doesn't mean devastation, indeed. Thanks for the little bit of a language lesson there, I suppose. So yes, that is Halibur if it forms. And if indeed, actually, regardless of what happens, Force 13 is probably going to be running a storm update at 2:30 AM UTC. That will be 6:30 AM in Mauritius. I'm not sure whether that's an hour backwards in Mozambique or Madagascar. So we're running another update there and updates throughout the day tomorrow if necessary. I know that Waniel, that's his nickname, you're on about making a image now, right?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to load.
We also have Andrew on the chat here. He says he could also make one too.
Okay then.
So it's up to you guys. Discuss in the chat bar here if you wish. But there's the latest track map for Cyclone 15S, likely to make landfall in Madagascar as a tropical storm. We believe it has already made landfall in Mozambique, or if not, it is very close to doing so. And I think this image just about concludes it for me, confirms it, because you look at the yellow areas, which is the most intense part of the storm right now. That's all over land, which just suggests to me that the storm is indeed over land now, which could possibly be bad news for any intensification. Of course, it's good news for Madagascar, but also in turn probably bad news for Mozambique, because the storm is now going to be stalling over that area for a longer period than what it was first forecasted. We could see some significant amounts of rainfall falling there as well. Luckily, it seems to be a rather compact system and isn't affecting a particularly large area. Daniel?
I found an image now. I'll get it up on the screen.
Oh, it's got an image. Wow.
Yeah. It's a tropical it was a tropical storm from 2012.
Right. Well, you've just you've given us about 85 storms to choose from now. Then.
Just give me a sec.
Rather than about 1,400 or something like that.
It occurred in August. Is it occurred or occurred? Oh, it's occurred. Yeah, it occurred in August.
Yeah. Well, that's made it even easier now.
Oh dear.
Someone will forget that, you know. We've not even seen what it is yet. Now we can. Oh, hold on. Just give us a moment. He'll be back with the image very shortly. And who's that in the background? There was someone in the background, but I don't think he intended us for us to hear that. So we'll be back in a moment with with Daniel's image. But in the meantime, there's Jean's image again showing the latest. Now, Jean, I don't know if you can hear me right now. I think you can, but you can track forward in the forecast on those maps as well. And what can you show us what they're showing? If you think if you click on the Earth button, you can track forward in the towards a forecast period, perhaps. If you click one of the arrows towards the right-hand side, I think it shows puts it forward 3 hours if you press the 1 hour, and 6 hours if you sorry, 1 day if you press the double arrow. So we can just see what actually happens in the coming days, maybe.
I'll get the image up now.
Oh, the image is on the way, apparently. Oh, I think the image is ready, is it?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not got it in text anywhere? Because if it does, then...
No, it hasn't, no.
Okay, very good. There's the storm. That is actually not the easiest in the world. This occurred in 2012 in the Atlantic, was it?
I believe so, yeah.
You believe so?
Yeah.
I think I have an idea of what it might be.
Yeah.
I think I do. I'm just going to type in what I think it is.
Okay.
And am I right or am I wrong?
I don't know. I'll check in a minute.
Check it now.
How can I check while I'm displaying the image?
I don't know. That's something that you've got to think about. Well, let's go back to Jean. Have you made any more headway on that projection there? Oh yes, you can see the storm there now. Cyclone 15S is on your left-hand side. The vortex there towards the coast of Madagascar, appearing to be making landfall. There's wind speeds towards the north. If you click the greenest part towards the north of that storm, if you just click the area around there, it should show what wind speed it's projecting at that point. Oh yes, there it is, 59 kilometers per hour, apparently. And also on the right-hand side, you can see Invest 94S as well. Seems to be rather elongated, but you can see some strong winds occurring towards the southeastern part of that storm, south of Reunion Island. It appears at that point that maybe it won't quite reach tropical storm status. I guessed right, by the way, what that cyclone was. I wonder whether anyone else can. Jagsco says Florence. Daniel?
No. Should I get it up on the screen again?
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
I mean, there aren't really that many to choose from now.
Can you see it now?
Yes, we're back.
Okay.
There is the storm. There weren't that many storms that were in the Atlantic in August. Florence was probably one of the first. Just trying to think back to. Oh no. Yeah, we had at least one other storm before that in August. I'm just trying to think back. I wouldn't give people another clue just yet, but Jacksco's got it right. He says it's Joyce.
Oh, well done.
Hey, he's got it. He's good at this game, you know. He is good at this. The point is, here's the deal, Dan. Don't give away clues that are too easy, man. 2012 in the Atlantic. Oh yes, you got about 5 storms to choose from, and some of those and not many of those are tropical storms, just Florence and Joyce, and maybe 1 or 2 in between. I can't think back to what the 2012 storms were anymore. We had Ernesto, Florence, G. What was G? Oh dear. H. The only H I can think of is Helene right now. I think that was 2010, wasn't it? I can't. I honestly can't think of. That's me. That my history part of my brain it appears to have been cooked.
I'll get another image up.
Of course, we had Isaac. That was the ice storm affected Louisiana, made landfall there. But I can't for the life of me think what the other storms were. So if I think about it, maybe I can remember from the 2006 season, working back even more. But it appears to have just evaporated from my mind. Anyway, there's the latest image, one of the latest images of Cyclone 15S, our new tropical storm. What number are we up to now in terms of tropical storms this year? In 2015, the calendar year, all around the world, we've seen 13 tropical storms. 7 of those Category 1 hurricanes or greater, and 5 Category 3 storms or greater. That's on a Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Of course, that is different to the Australian scale, which we'll probably be referring to again very soon if that Australian storms wake up again.
I've got another image up.
Yes, I saw. I was just about to click it. Here is another image. It's a storm with an eye. And I think I have an idea of what it might be. So I'm just going to type it in.
Okay.
Typed it into you now.
Okay then. Can you look away from this screen so no one can see the name?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
So am I right or am I right? Who knows? Well, Andrew says Gustav. Oh, one of us is correct. Who's correct? Oh, I'm correct. Very good. I'm good at this game. I'm correct. So it's not Gustav. Oh, Daniel, that's mean. He's saying Andrew loses. Can you show everyone else the image again so?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Other people can guess.
Just give me some time to prepare so no one can see the name.
Yes, well, do hurry, because we've not got all day to wait here, because they've only seen it for about 2 seconds before you moved it away again. There it is again, the image. So all we know so far is that it's not Gustav, and I got it right. Not to blow my own trumpet or anything.
We know it's got an eye as well.
It's got an eye, yeah, I think we can see that. We can see that. And it's quite difficult if you don't know where it is either, because you can't see any land areas around it. So it's a storm that stayed out to sea, and the only way you could potentially get it at all is if you'd seen the image before, I suppose. I'll give people a little clue. Actually, it was a storm that I tracked for Force 13, so it's recent. It's fairly recent. It's a storm that I posted updates on.
Have you mentioned the year?
Nope, I'm not going to.
Okay.
And I'm not going to mention the basin either. All I'm going to tell people is that it was a storm that I tracked for Force 13. I posted video updates on it. And actually, I recall an email that someone sent to me once that who was living in the path of the storm asking me for advice, and I'm like, well, I'm not quite sure what advice I should give because I've never experienced a hurricane, but that's sort of in our remit here at Force 13 as well, I suppose. Just the general common sense things really is the precautions for hurricanes, of course, to board everything up and all that. Make sure everything's secured down and that nothing flies away in 120-mile-an-hour winds.
Should I check the comments feed for answers?
No, I'm
right.
looking right now. No one's got it just yet. Not that many people are playing, but oh well. But there it is.
If you guess this one right, you win a prize that's to be determined at a later date.
A prize to be determined. Are you sure you want to give out a prize, Dan? Do you know what it is yet?
The prize?
Yeah.
No.
Right, that's not very helpful then, is it?
No, I haven't determined what it's going to be yet.
There's the latest Google Earth image shown by Jean on the image there.
Not really going to get off that.
Showing the two storms, 15S on your left-hand side, Invest 94S on your right-hand side along the eastern coast of Madagascar. 94S looks to be nothing more than a rain event, but it could turn into a weak tropical storm. We'll see. Here's another image of what's going on right now. Daniel, would you mind showing us the image again?
Oh yeah, of course. Just bear with me.
That's two bears that are with you now.
No, there's no bears in the
There's the storm that we're looking at. Just adding a little bit of light here. If anyone out there can guess the storm, then you get a nice fancy pat on the back.
No, you don't get anything.
Well, that's not fair. No one will do it now, Daniel. You've just...
No, you can come and see me then.
I don't think anyone will want to do that.
Hi! It's not very nice.
Oops. Jagsco has guessed, I'm guessing it's a guess because he says he doesn't know. He's saying Kirk.
No. Wrong.
Now, what year did we have Kirk now? I can't even remember this. I don't know where my knowledge is. I think it was 2012 that we had Kirk. But I might be wrong. Because it must have... Because I'm sure it was the first time that we ever saw a Kirk. And I can't think of what storm it would have replaced in the K names. I could be wrong. But it's not Kirk anyway. But you can obviously see, because I don't think Daniel's been nasty and turned the picture upside down. It's certainly a Northern Hemisphere storm, because what you could theoretically do is turn it upside down and everyone would think it's a Southern Hemisphere storm or something, or invert it and all that.
Are you suggesting I'm being...
I'm not suggesting anything. I'm actually trying to say how clean you're being.
Oh, thanks.
Martina Turlian confirms what I thought Kirk was in 2012. So yeah. Oh, Joe Mason also agrees. Everyone's just talking all of a sudden. But yes, this storm occurred during the time that I've been tracking storms. It was I posted updates on it. So you can confirm really that it was in the past 3 years. And it obviously is a hurricane strength storm. And Joe Mason's got it correct. He's got it right. He said, is it Hurricane Gordon?
Yeah, well done.
Very good, very good.
You'll receive a prize soon.
Martinez said, is it Julio? But of course we now know that it was not. But there we are. Hurricane Gordon, it was, I believe, I'm not even sure what category it was anymore. I think it was a Cat 3 in 2012. An outside chance of a Cat 4, but I don't think it was. And went on to affect the Azores, of course.
Nathan.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me I had my microphone up?
I didn't see.
Oh.
I could hear you properly, though.
Alright, good.
We could hear you good. But there you are. So, those of you who have just joined us, let's take another recap on the current situation around the world in terms of storms. We've got 4 systems active. We've currently got Cyclone 15S. It's located along the coast, hugging the coast now of Mozambique. It's stalling. Its wind speed's 40 miles per hour. Air pressure is 996 millibars. No change upon earlier position. 16.8 degrees south, 41.3 degrees east. We'll be running an update on this storm later on this evening as well. Particularly if it intensifies. Oh, Joe says it was a Cat 2, Gordon. I thought it might have been. I thought it was Cat 3. We'll see. I'll look back at in a moment when I get a moment. too many moments in that sense. That was an earlier visible image of that storm. Also, we have Invest 93P. That's located in the South Pacific Ocean, and the models are predicting quite a ferocious storm out of that to affect Vanuatu in the next few days. We'll be keeping our eyes on that one in particular. We also have 94S. This storm's located along the eastern coast of Madagascar, the northern part, and is not expected to be a significant storm. Could be a marginal tropical storm as it heads towards the south, but seems to be dissipating, partly influenced by Cyclone 15S. It will be in close proximity before long. And we also have Invest 97W located in the Western Pacific, and as you can see here, very little of it. I'm trying to find out where exactly that is located as well. I think it's way off to the east, not far from the international dateline. Yes, position 169 degrees east. So I think that little island, that orange area, let me point it out with my cursor. I think that little island there is Cosray, part of Micronesia. Oh, that's my phone going off. It's annoying, isn't it? I can't even mute myself at the moment either. That's so annoying. There we are. Hey, I'm back. I can't control who rings me and who doesn't. You may have noticed once, if anyone's watched the million views video on Force 13, which we did back in November. Nick, just give me a moment. Where we had the bloopers reel, which was pretty funny. If you've not seen it, I certainly recommend it. We had the bloopers on the million views video, and that involved the phone going off on more than one occasion, and me not being very happy about it because I was right in the middle of a narration. But there we are. Nick has joined us. Are you there?
Yes, hello, I'm here.
Hi, what's going on?
Hello.
Nothing much. I just got home from school. Well, didn't really just get home, but like about an hour ago, but then I didn't realize that this was going on. I thought it was going to happen at 4.
Yeah, I know. It sort of didn't give all that much notice for this one. But I mean, whenever there's a storm active, we'll probably be doing updates in the evening at some point, or afternoon your time. Can't please everyone, I'm afraid, because it's school time somewhere.
I've got another image to show if...
Okay.
Okay, just bear with me.
Nick, if you'd like to take part in this, don't say it out loud. Type it into the chat, because we've all got an unfair advantage here.
Okay.
So, are you still trudging home in the snow there? Or is the weather...
Yeah, we still have lots of snow.
I mean, I saw the forecast for the United States over the next few days. It's getting a little bit warmer, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I was lucky that we had 40s recently.
40s?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. We actually had a high today of 57, believe it or not, which is the warmest day of the year so far here in the UK.
Wow.
Almost sunbathing weather, but not quite. Here's the latest image from Daniel, and I know exactly what storm this is because I remember it very well. At least I think I do. I'm just going to type it in now.
Okay.
Am I right?
I'll check.
Hurry, check already.
Oh.
Oh, did you? We didn't see it, did we?
You're wrong.
I'm wrong? Okay, never mind.
Yes, you're wrong.
It's something else, isn't it? No, don't tell me what it is.
Okay.
Because I'm very familiar with this storm. I thought it was that at first, but I'll have to have another think about that, obviously. Are we back with it? No, it's oh yes, very nice, close up. It's oh dear. Right, I'll type something else in.
Okay.
Typed it in.
Okay.
Typed it in. And I'm just looking at some more comments. Joe Mason says London saw 63 Fahrenheit on the 9th of January. Was that this year? I'll have to check back through my weather records because I maintain my own records. We didn't see that image again, did we, Dan?
I'll show it. I'll get it up.
No, but I mean, did I hope no one actually saw what name it was because I was on your screen the whole time just then.
I don't think so. I don't think they did.
Very good, very good.
Did they show it again?
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
What was the previous name for this invest? Because NOAA hasn't quite updated their thing.
What was that?
What was this previously? What invest was this storm previously?
I think it was 92S, I think.
Yeah, there's a 94. There's a 94S right here in South Indian.
Yeah, 94S. That's east of Madagascar. That's on the eastern coast. But the storm we have right now, Cyclone 15S, I think, was 92.
Oh. Yeah, there's 15S right here.
Yes, that's the storm that we've been tracking.
Okay.
I'm just having to load up something else right now because I need to find out what the temperature was here on January the 9th. Oh yes, yeah, we had 57 on the 10th of January, 14 Celsius. So, but today's temperature was just ever so slightly higher. We saw a high of 57.6 here today, which just nudges it just that little bit higher than what it was on January the 10th here in the northern part of England. But apparently it was 63 in London on the 9th. What was the source by that, by the way? Joe, if you could get back to me on that. What's occurring right now? Oh yes, so we're still looking at storm. No one's got it just yet, I do not believe. But I think no. Martinez Cillian says, "Is it Niki?"
No.
Yeah, I'm afraid not. I think the key to why it isn't Iniki is it sort of has a similar structure to what Iniki looked like at its peak, but if you look at the image itself, you can see that it's the quality makes it much newer. Looks much newer than back when Iniki was active in 1992.
Do you?
Yeah.
Wait, for Cyclone 15S, what are your predictions for it? Do you think it'll get stronger?
Well, all it has to do
Significantly.
All it has to do is move off the coast of Mozambique out into the Mozambique Channel, and it is almost guaranteed to strengthen if it manages to do that, pretty much all the way to its landfall in Madagascar, which of course it will weaken, and as the forecasting agencies say, JTWC and Météo France, it will weaken from there onwards and will not intensify on the other side of Madagascar. Joe Mason's got it right. He says it's Hurricane Michael.
Yeah, well done.
Very good.
Oh, can I just add something?
Yes.
The Mozambique Channel's essentially a breeding ground for hurricanes, isn't it?
It's certainly not a YouTube channel.
No, I said a breeding ground.
I know.
All
I
right.
was just making a silly pun.
Oh. Oh, I'll get
A
rid of
breeding
this.
ground, maybe not as much as some other areas, but of course it is one of the areas that you look out for during the season. But quite often, at least the strongest storms, they most often form out at sea, and some of the strongest storms have gone on to affect Madagascar and other places.
What's the strongest storm ever recorded that occurred there? Do you know?
Well, there have been very strong storms that have affected Madagascar in the past. I can think of two right now. Cyclone. Oh goodness, I had it for a moment. It just went. I think it was Cyclone 15S.
Oh right.
I think that was the one that happened in 2004. And there was another one in the 90s as well, around 1994. I think it was. The name escapes me at the moment.
Mhm.
I'm just going to look it up now.
Okay.
What happened in the Southwest Indian Ocean in 1993-94? Can't even find it. But there was a very strong storm that affected that area, I'm sure of it. Geralda was a very strong storm in that area. Its air pressure was 905 millibars, apparently. And Jagscar also says Helen was pretty strong as well. That was a fairly recent storm. Was it 2013, that one? That hit Madagascar on the northwestern side. So that also formed in a very similar place that this one has. But of course, the fate of this storm is going to be rather different to the one of Helen.
Shall I get another image?
Please do, but Nick, was that something on your screen there that you wanted to show me, or is it not?
It's something that I want to show you. This is the current picture from NOAA of the storm.
Very good. It's a black screen. And it says that the date is January the nothingth, 0 year.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that.
So that's brilliant on Noah's part there. There must be something up with the imagery.
I've got another one coming up. It should
Very
be
good.
easy.
Very good. Let's go back to Jean's screen right now, where you can see the latest satellite. Have you got anything else to show us, by the way, over there, Jean? Maybe, maybe not. Oh, there's an infrared imagery of the latest in the Southwest Indian Ocean. You can see primarily those three flare-ups, the one on the left-hand side, the western coast of Madagascar. That little flare-up there, that's probably going to dissipate pretty soon because it's not a storm or anything like that. The two main ones we're looking at, Invest 94S on the right-hand side, and of course Cyclone 15S, which is perhaps slightly inland now, and is over Mozambique. I think Andrew's got something ready for us now, actually. So everyone's busy working here, working on games, apparently. Oh, nice. That's hilarious.
No, it's not hilarious.
Oh, yes, it's hilarious. Bullying?
Yes.
No, we don't do bullying.
Very unprofessional.
I think that's fantastic. Was that photoshopped? What?
Oh, it must have been photoshopped.
Yeah, I can't imagine such a thing happening in the Atlantic.
No.
So that's... Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, that's the storm in 1996. Right? And I think... Oh, John has to go, actually.
Goodbye.
So, from Force 13 and all watching at this time, thanks very much for participating, Jean. Your images have been very good indeed. Would you like to wave or anything? Or are you just going to depart hastily? Yes, thank you for participating. Thanks. Back to the Andrew's PowerPoint here. I think I know which storm this is, but I could be wrong.
I've got no idea.
Of course you wouldn't.
Could it be Isabel?
Nope, not Isabel, I wouldn't have thought. Martinez Julian says Fran, is that correct? Nope, it isn't, because I've got it right with what I guessed. Hurricane Bertha, there it is.
I should have known this one.
Interesting.
You shouldn't have shown it straight away, though, because other people could have had time to guess. Now, I remember this storm as well. I have an idea of what it could be, but I could be wrong quite easily. But we'll see. I'm not going to give any hints. This could be quite difficult, you know.
Is it
Yeah, go on.
Katrina? No, it's not, is it?
Looks like you need more training.
Yeah, I'm not stupid enough to think that's not Katrina. To think that's Katrina.
Right. So I think most people can tell where it is, but just in case not, it's a storm making landfall in Mexico there, on the western side of the Gulf of Mexico.
Is it Stan? Is it Hurricane Stan?
There was a Stan, of course, 2005, was it not? But it isn't that one.
Okay.
Martinez Julian says, is it Ingrid? And because Andrew can't reply on mic, I'll say it for him that it isn't Ingrid. And Daniel says that Andrew is very mean. Now, come on, guys.
I'm only joking.
Get your acts together. Come on. I'm not sure that anyone will get this. I really don't. The only reason I got it is because it just stuck in my head. Oh, there we are. Hurricane Diana. It was a difficult one to guess, I think, that one.
Very difficult.
Here's another one, and I actually have no idea with this. So
Can we have a clue?
your guess is as good as mine. And actually, I don't have any guesses, so. But it seems there's a long silence here. Nick says, is it Vince? We're waiting for an answer at this time, because even I don't know. I can see how it could be, but it isn't. It looks stronger than Vince.
Yeah.
To me. Could you tell us the basin? I have a sneaky feeling that it might be the East Pacific. This. Yeah. Joe Mason says, "Is it Gustav?" I'm not sure whether he's referring to this one or not. But... Is it? Oh, it is. How about that? Very good indeed.
Well done.
I don't even know anything about that storm.
Was
Gustav?
is that very recent?
Not good enough.
What year? What basin? I've no idea on this one. I mean, surely it wasn't, or was it, the one in 2008? I somehow doubt that. 1990. There we are.
I thought you knew every hurricane.
How did Joe know that?
Huh.
Joe, I need your brain. I think they're all from the 90s area, you know.
How are we supposed to know what that is?
Oh, that was Felix in the background then. I think they're all from the 90s era, these storms, so goodness knows. What?
This has been deliberately made so I can't guess.
Well, I can't guess either at the moment. I have no
It's
idea
hard.
what that storm is.
And you're the expert.
Well, I'm not as much of an expert as some people like Joe Mason who says, I know all. Haha. We should get him on a game show.
Yeah. I'll beat him.
Alright. Nick says, is it Isidore? Oh, what's this? Oh, there's a track file for it.
Oh,
Right.
Nifty.
Yep,
That's it.
definitely Isidore. I'm on the 1990 Atlantic hurricane season.
Nick, are you cheating?
Maybe.
Have you got it up at all the 1990 storms in your browser right now? This is the problem, Andrew. When you pick storms from the same season, someone's gonna clock on, you see. Yeah. And it was, Joe also got that as well.
Okay, fine, I won't cheat.
Because
No.
they're probably doing the
Can I
same
just-
thing.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
I typed in 1990 hurricanes and one of your videos came up.
Well, there you are. That's
That's where-
the beauty of Force 13 and
Yeah.
all the animations I did ages and ages ago.
Splendid.
Still Isidore, right? Yeah.
Mm.
Any new viewers, just to let you know, we'll have the latest on the current storms very shortly. But you're not missing anything at this time. Do you actually have any more to show, Andrew? Oh, Nick is disqualified, according to Andrew. And Daniel is angry.
Yeah, very angry.
Right. Now, I've just got... How... No, no chance. No chance, unless you look it up.
Let me... Is this... Can I say what I think it is?
Go on, yes, say it.
Is it Josephine?
Is it Josephine?
Is it?
Andrew say... WTF.
Hello?
Hello?
Am I correct?
Since I'm disqualified,
I think you might be.
Since I'm disqualified, I just have the thing open so I can check the answers.
What did you look that one up on, Daniel?
Wikipedia.
See.
I recognise. I matched the image to the one that was on the screen.
I see.
Yeah.
Look at all this cheating going on, guys.
Yeah.
Farce.
Not very
Outrageous.
professional,
Looks
is
like
it?
it is Josephine.
He's disqualified you now, Daniel.
Ah!
I'm the only one left in this.
Good.
There's only one person to play. That doesn't make sense.
Very good. Ah, it makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense when it's me. Oh, is there another one now? Ah, yes. Well, I've got no idea, you know. But I'm just thinking, the way you've been going, you started with I, then you went to J, so I'm going to guess Kyle.
I know what this one is. Should I say?
Kyle wasn't even a 1990s hurricane name.
Oh, but it would have been on the naming list. They mustn't have just got to K.
It was just Klaus. It was Klaus.
Oh, Klaus, of course. Then they renamed it to Kyle later on. You know, it's 2008 I was thinking of, which was 18 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Of course they had Klaus, and that one was retired. Was it that year? I think it might have been. Maybe the next one. But was it? It might have been. Anyway. This is descending into chaos.
I'd like to mention something funny.
Joe says, is it Lily?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. I looked
very
up
good.
Wikipedia.
Sorry,
I know
sorry for
that
cutting
person.
across you there, Nicky. Nicky? Where did that come from? Nick, what was it? What were you saying?
This right here we are showing is, I think that was Tropical Depression 15 of 2015.
What's
That's
that?
just a rough guess.
On my screen right now?
Yeah, on your screen, I think that's...
Yeah, it is, because we're doing current storms as well.
Yeah, I got it right.
I'm not doing the game. I'm just talking about the current storms.
I got it right without even cheating.
Oh yeah. Very good. Has it finished? Andrew, are we finished? I think we are. Oh no? Yes. So, there we are. So the cheaters won, apparently.
Yay.
If you'd like to take part in a future Force 13 game show, by the way, everyone out there, that wasn't one, by the way, but a more organised Force 13 game show, you can just let us know and just send us an email, and I'll let you know what's going on and when it's expected to be. It will be in this sort of format. We'll be doing it on a Hangout, and it will be beaming out live on Force 13's new channel, Force 13 Extra, which you can access. I just search Force 13 Extra without the E, it's XTRA. And that's our new channel, which will feature more of you rather than me, because all I do on here is talk about storm updates, and it's just me on my Todd, unless we do a live event. But there we are. Let's just recap what's going on right now around the world. Cyclone 15S, that's active right now. It appears to have made landfall in Mozambique as a tropical storm. Wind speeds 40 miles an hour, air pressures around 996 millibars. We also have a few other invests out there as well. Let me just get to those images. Invest 93P, that's located in the South Pacific. Invest 94S, that's on the eastern side of Madagascar, and Invest 97W in the Western Pacific. Let's quickly take a look, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, the models. Just reverse time a little bit. But let's just start from the start here. What you see here, right, so the low pressure systems there, that's where the invest is right now, invest 93P. So, as we advance time forward, you can see how it develops into what appears to be a tropical storm by this point here, around 2 or 3 days from now. And then moving towards the south, really getting itself together and becoming a significant storm and making landfall in Vanuatu as a significant cyclone, possibly a major cyclone, category 3, who knows. At the same time, we've got 2 other tropical storms that may form. One here near the tip of the far north Queensland area of Australia in the Coral Sea, and then likely to move out towards the southeast. And also this on your left-hand side, another low pressure system south of Indonesia. And let's see where they all go. So the first storm, significant, heavy rainfall, very strong winds by the looks of things over Vanuatu. We'll keep our eyes on this very closely over the next few days. The storm that leaves Australia and moves towards the southeast, and then you've got that third one making landfall on the western coast of Australia as that big storm becomes a huge extratropical low near New Zealand, and the storm that formed near Australia progresses towards New Caledonia. So if that all comes to fruition, then it's going to be a very significant next week or two in the Australian region and the South Pacific. Anything to say about that, guys?
Pardon?
You didn't hear any of it.
No, because Andrew is drawing on my face. Can you kick him, please? He's drawing using the drawing app. It's really annoying me now.
No. We like a bit of fun like that, you know.
No, we don't. I don't.
Only when there's a real storm threat. I mean, Mozambique, of course, there's a storm threat there, but we don't actually have all that much to talk about. So when we don't have much to talk about, we just have a bit of fun. Oh, very good. That doesn't work very well. Very good. And also at the end of that run there, perhaps even a 4th system forming near Fiji as well, but that is 10 days out, so who knows whether that will actually happen or not.
You know what you should do, Force 13?
Go ahead.
Just compile a list of all the websites that you go to find like all the stuff that you can see here.
So many.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I will at some point. We already have the links page on the Force 13 website, which shows you a few of those, all the main organizations, as well as some satellite imagery and other links as well. Those of you wishing to find that page, just go force13.com/links.html, or you can navigate there from the website to the main page of the website. Daniel, what would you like to say?
Can't think of anything at the moment.
Very good.
I've got another image up if you'd like to see it.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I'll just click away from you for a moment.
I was actually... I'll have to get it back up again, the image.
Well, in the meantime, let's tell everyone about what happened on this day in the world of storms. We're currently in March the 6th still here in the UK, though I appreciate that some places are in the 7th now. We'll do both the 6th and the 7th. On March the 6th in 2005, Tropical Storm Ingrid formed in the Coral Sea, and in 2008, Cyclone Ophelia dissipated in the South Indian Ocean. That's it for March the 6th. On March the 7th, Hamish in 2009 passed Queensland at its peak intensity, 155 miles per hour. It killed 2, unfortunately, and caused $46 million in damages. Also, we saw the formation of Tropical Storm Jacob in the southeast Indian Ocean. Cyclone Jokwe, I think it's pronounced, in 2008 affected Madagascar and Mozambique. It ended up killing 16 and caused $8 million in damages. And Cyclone... oh no, that is it, actually. I was reading the next bit there. So that's what happened on this day, March the 6th and March the 7th. Of course, some places, including where Cyclone 15S is right now, have just about arrived on March the 7th now as well. So, good morning. Daniel, are you ready? No.
Yes.
Yes.
Just bear with me.
That's the third bear you've got with you now.
Yeah, I'm with the 3 bears.
Right.
Just let me get the image.
Right, I see.
Here we go. Can you see it?
Hold on, we'll just... yes, there it is. Now, this is the one I said earlier, isn't it?
Yeah, you're not allowed to say it now.
I know exactly what storm this one is. Just it looked a bit similar. But I know exactly what storm this is. So, if anyone else knows, then holler at us. Uber close-up.
Yeah, very high resolution image.
Very good. We've just reached 9 o'clock here in the UK. That means it's 1 in the morning in Mauritius and in Réunion, where the storm is making landfall in Mozambique. The time there is actually only 11:01 p.m. It's midnight on the Comoros Islands, and same too for Madagascar and its capital, which I always love to say because it's a really long name, Antananarivo, which is likely to see a possibly tropical storm in the next few days out of Cyclone 15S.
Anyone guessed?
Well, I'm just looking now. No, nothing yet. Nothing yet.
Okay.
And Jexco kindly points out that it's 5 a.m. in Perth. Wow, he's up early, or perhaps late. I know I'll be up late this evening doing storm updates at convenient times. I think.
Why don't you do one in the morning at 9 a.m?
Because I don't get up in the morning at 9 a.m.
Well, get up then.
No.
You lazy person.
I beg your pardon. Now, during Hagupit, Typhoon Hagupit, I was working very hard indeed. For 2 days running, I did updates every 6 hours. So that would be 2 p.m., 8 p.m., 2 a.m., 8 a.m., 2 p.m., 8 p.m., 2 a.m., 8 a.m., 2 p.m., 8 p.m., and 2 a.m. again, I think. Something like that.
What do you want, a medal?
Yes, I do. I want 2.
Okay then.
Outrageous. Outrageous behaviour. But
Yeah,
I guess the aim of Force 13 and actually getting other people on board is so that we can, more than anything, become a 24-hour service, so that everyone knows at all times what's going on in the world of storms. Sorry, Nick.
One of the websites I constantly go to is also being very messed up. Cyclone15S. It's seemingly very messed up, saying that there's going to be like 10 storms forming in the eastern Pacific Ocean.
Oh my.
Yeah. Is that that same? Is that the same website that posted that wrong image of the hurricane on it?
I have no idea.
Oh.
It's cyclocane.com.
By the way, Andrew, if you could do more photoshopping of angry Daniel in hurricanes, then that would be brilliant.
You know, one of Nathan as well.
Why would I want one?
Because you deserve one.
Oh, do I? I thought I deserved a medal.
Not anymore.
Enough.
You could have a silver one.
Enough.
Do you know what I had forgot to say? I'm learning a little bit of French.
Oh yes.
To translate some of the some of our videos. I'm not really learning a lot of French. I don't know a lot of French.
I know a few words of French.
I've only had about half a year. My school has it, and yeah, I'm in French 1 currently.
It's a fair amount of time. I know that Jean speaks very good French because course, is in Mauritius. It's a very French-speaking place, as is Réunion, neighbouring.
You could also join.
Yeah.
You could also join in a few of our French conversations in the chat room as well.
There are some French conversations in the chat room. They don't involve you or I, though, do they?
No, I'm not going to say what they involve.
They involve Jean and Ronan. They both chat in the chat room in French. So we are open to all languages. We are very inclusive.
I'm on the Media France website, and I see a word that I just learned today, which is pretty funny.
Is it safe to air? Maybe not.
No.
But yeah, Daniel, what French do you know?
Not much.
Ah.
I know.
What's Mauritius in French?
I've no idea.
Maurice.
I'll translate it.
Maurice.
Oh.
They
Was
call
the
it
person
Maurice.
was the person who founded it called that?
I haven't a clue. Why don't you ask him?
Look it up. He's obviously not alive now, is he? Dead?
You look it up. I'm not looking it up.
Right, I'll look it up then.
What you're looking at right now, guys, by the way, is the latest image from 2 hours ago. Cyclone 15S. Most of it over land at this time. The time is 6 minutes past 9, and we'll be finishing around 10 o'clock, perhaps earlier if we run out of things to say.
So this beginning models page shows that one of the storms is going to teleport out to the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and then turn back.
Remarkable. I can't wait to see that.
I've got an update regarding the name of Mauritius.
Right.
It was named after Maurice of Nassau, I think it is. He was sovereign prince of Orange from 1618. That's what I found. Something like that.
1618, so he might still be alive.
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. There you go. I'm just trying to rack my brains of thinking about what other French I know. But I think we're going a bit off topic now.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just have a complete topic discussion one day.
Yeah.
Put it on Force 13 Extra. But maybe when there's no storms active. Anyway. There we are. Cyclone. We've not shown the track forecast for a little while, so let's take a look at what the track forecast is doing. Those of you who have not seen it yet, this is the latest track image from Météo France. This was as of 3 hours ago now.
I can translate one word on that.
Well, I can translate a few.
Also, a word that I just learned today was the one on the right, or all the way on the left on the bottom.
Well, here we are. Go on.
It's pronounced
Yes, that's ours. Local time in Réunion, perhaps. But the top bit probably says on March the 6th at 10 p.m. That seems pretty simple.
Yeah.
But in any case, there's the track forecast showing tropical storm expected to hit Madagascar. But what the map doesn't show is that the storm has moved a bit further towards Mozambique than the map shows. And we'll have a bit further to go before making landfall in Madagascar. That could mean that it is indeed stronger, maybe. It depends how it keeps hold of itself whilst it moves over Mozambique, whether it loses any strength or not. Waniel, you seem a little bit giddy down there.
Nothing. Nothing.
Okay, enough.
It's always very suspicious.
That track forecast, by the way, differs from JTWC slightly, at least towards the end. JTWC say the storm will reach 65 mph winds before making landfall, and then pass just south of Antananarivo, and then move out to sea as a tropical depression remnant low as it heads towards La Réunion.
Who's typing?
Oh, that's
No.
me.
All right.
So there it is. Of course, we'll have more updates later on this storm, and indeed on all the other storms that we were looking at earlier. In the meantime, I know we're a bit early, but I don't think we really have much else to speak about. I did say that we'd finish early if we had to, but I think we're sort of running out of mileage here.
Yeah. Do you want me to
Daniel,
get a
what do
number?
you think?
I could get a number. Oh, nobody's guessed my image yet, have they?
Which image was? Oh yes, of course.
I've closed it. I
You've
think I can remember what
closed
it was.
it.
Yeah. I'll open it up again.
Fool.
Pardon.
Fool.
Shut up. How rude.
This is nonsense.
Right, I'll get the image up now.
Alright, get the image up now, then go. I'll be back in a few moments, guys. I hope Daniel can keep us entertained.
Yeah.
I'll
Some
only be-
jokes.
I'll only be 1.5 minutes, so
Okay.
don't worry about it.
Here we are. Can everyone see this? No.
They can.
Good. Well, here we are. Do you know what it is, Nick? Do you have any idea? Don't say it loud. Don't say it out loud. Put it in the messages.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there any chance you could give us what basin it is?
I think it's in the Atlantic. Is the Atlantic a basin? The North Atlantic, I believe, in 2012.
Oh gosh, 2012, I should know this.
Well, I return.
Hello.
What did I miss? Nothing?
Nothing.
Very good. I hope you actually spoke whilst I was away, because if not, then it would sound very boring.
Of course.
Alright. Just checking. Current temperature at Force 13 HQ, 48 degrees Fahrenheit.
Can I have that in Celsius, please?
9.
Oh, that's not very warm, is it?
Well, the March average is 10. That's a high temperature.
Oh, you mean outside?
Yes, outside, fool.
Obviously. Don't call me a fool.
Well, you clearly are.
I'm clearly not.
Anyway, there's a storm there on your image right now. It obviously appears to be a hurricane, because it was. And it occurred in the time that Force 13 has been tracking storms. Don't forget, Force 13 launched on November 30th, 2011. Daniel, what were you doing on that day?
November the what day was it again? I didn't get the 30th.
Yeah, 2011.
I believe I just started my first year of college.
Very good.
Yeah.
Hold on, my mom has Facebook. I think I might be able to get her to tell me what happened on that day.
Yeah, what did happen on that day?
Well,
I
for me
wonder
at
whether.
least.
Yeah, I know. I wonder whether any storm things happened on that day. Let me have a look. November. Looking through my extensive database. Oh no, there's nothing.
Quiet day then.
Probably would have been something, but I just haven't filled it with anything yet.
Yeah. I couldn't be bothered looking it up. I was joking.
Indeed. Oh.
Sorry. Has anybody put any guesses forward?
Indeed, not at this time. I don't think. Everyone ran off. Everyone got their little storm fix, and then they ran away. But rest assured, there'll be plenty of people watching after the video finishes.
Ah, yes.
Which
Nothing
will
to
be-
do with me.
It won't be very long away from the current time.
Nothing to do with me, I hope.
Have you seen Andrew's picture?
Not yet. Let me just get off
Andrew,
this.
you're mean.
Where is it? Where's the picture? Where is it? I can't see it. What the hell is that?
What? It's a face.
That's really badly done, that, you know.
Well.
I could do better.
Yeah, right. Well, let's see you do better. Go.
No.
Fine. Enough. Andrew, that's rude.
I hate you, Andrew.
Oh.
I hate you.
Oh dear. Well, let's save our hate till after the show. Maybe we should get going at this point because I think this is going to blow over. Guys, I'm speaking actually, referring to everyone watching right now. Thanks very much for watching another instalment of Force 13 Live. We've been discussing Cyclone 15S. We will do another live discussion if necessary. It won't be this evening. It will probably be tomorrow. In the meantime, there will be an update on Cyclone 15S at 2:30 AM UTC Eastern Time in the United States. That's around 9:30 PM. Unless you've had your time switch yet. I don't think you have you, Nick?
No.
That's this weekend, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I believe.
Language, Daniel.
Anyway, yes, indeed. He's been swearing on the chat. Enough. Elsewhere, of course, the storm update, 2:30 AM UTC. That, of course, in Mozambique is 4:30, I think. Yeah, 4:30 AM, 5:30 in Madagascar, and 6:30 in Mauritius and Réunion. But from now, that is all from us. Myself, Nathan Forey, Daniel Hudson, Nick, and Andrew. We're saying goodbye.
Goodbye.